Hey everyone, we're out here at Maker Faire 2013 with the team from Shapeways. So for people who don't know, what is Shapeways and who are you?
Shapeways is a 3D printing marketplace. It's a place where you can upload your designs, print them out, and actually sell them and make a lot of money. My name's Ben. I'm an industrial engineer at Shapeways. I run the factory in New York City.
Yeah, so now we've seen a little bit about your factory online, but maybe for folks who don't know, who are maybe new to 3D printing, what kind of printers do you have as compared to the ones that you might buy and have on your desk?
I guess the easiest way to describe them is they're a lot bigger and a lot more expensive. They are German machines, most of them actually, and they're really big. We print a lot of parts per tray. So that's the biggest difference, is we can print hundreds of parts at once instead of like one part at a time. And that allows us to get our prices so low.
Cool. So now, if maybe you can grab that figurine of the little guy.
This one here, or
the little guy like with the shirt on, and that metal one on the other one, just to give a sense of. So these are two parts that maybe you couldn't do if you had an FDM machine at home.
Correct. So this one here, for instance, your FDM couldn't print in full color. Okay. Usually you can print in one color at a time. This has all of the color information stored in the file, so you can render color just like you could an image. It actually uses regular inkjet ink, and it puts it down on a sandstone. This is a metal, this is stainless steel, and obviously you won't be able to put stainless steel in your FDM at home. This uses a very, very sophisticated, very dangerous, frankly, machine, which it gets really, really hot because it has to actually melt metal with a laser.
Melting metal with a laser at Shapeways, folks. Okay, so tell us about you. Where did you grow up?
I'm from Boston originally, and I actually started out as a pilot. I used to be a pilot, and then I went to art school, and then I started being a maker, actually. I was fabricating stuff, I was running lasers, I was running 3D printers, and then I actually heard about Shapeways on the web, and then a friend worked there, and then I ended up here, so now I'm running a factory for them.
Wow, that's quite a story. So how old were you when you first started making?
I was probably, I guess I was in my 20s. I'm a little older than I might look, but I was in my 20s, and I was a little late to the game, but I took right to it. I mean, I love technology because I was a pilot. I was learning about advanced aircraft and stuff like that. So I love to get my hands dirty, and I just couldn't wait to start building. And when I actually started, my first experience with it was with a laser cutter, and I just loved the laser cutter. I couldn't stop using it, and my wife was saying, don't bring anything home anymore, because everything we owned was laser cut.
So it's funny, you didn't look a day over 22 to me.
Right, well, there you go.
So,
moisturize, right?
Yeah, that's very good. Another tip from Shapeways, right. Moisturize.
Good.
So now, you said you are a pilot. What did your parents say when you're like, hey, Mom and Dad, I know I just went to pilot school, I've been flying planes, I'm going to start laser cutting stuff?
Right. Well, they're pretty good parents. They were pretty open to it. They were pretty happy. I think now that, especially because Shapeways is really taking off, I think they understand how being a pilot actually fits in. I actually use a lot of the same skills that I learned. A lot of the systems that we use, the tools that we use, they're a complicated machine, same as an airplane, and so I use a lot of the same skills.
So now you basically have a factory at your fingertips.
Correct.
Literally in New York. What's your favorite tool?
My favorite tool? That's a really good question, actually. I don't know if I even have a favorite. I mean, the printers are an easy thing to say. I guess I have a toolbox, which is all my tools, and I think my digital caliper, is probably my baby. When somebody asks to borrow it, it's the only tool that I think twice about, and I make sure that I get it right back because I just love it. It's perfect.
So which brand of digital caliper do you have?
Mitsutoyo.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, there's really two kinds of digital calipers. Mitsutoyo and everyone else.
Right, exactly. So you got to get the best. If you're going to get it, you got to get the best. It's a little more expensive, but it's worth it.
And by little more, he means a lot more.
Yeah. Exactly. My perception of cost is warped since we have $1 million printers, so it's all warped.
All right, so this is a big year for Shapeways. Why did you come out to Maker Faire?
Well, I mean, this is our base. Everybody here are the people that helped us go from nothing to something. All the people here are the people that we love. They're our best friends in the world. So that's why we're here every year. I have every reason to believe we'll be here for many, many more years. Even if it doesn't do us any real good, we will be here because we love everybody here.
So now, what can we expect from Shapeways at Maker Faire 2014?
Well, we're going to have a bunch of new materials. We love bringing out new materials. One of my jobs is to research and test new materials. We've got a squishy material coming out soon. We did a beta test of a previous squishy material maybe a few months ago, which we pulled because it wasn't good enough. And we're probably going to re-release glass at some point. We also have some other materials on the horizon which I can't really talk about, but they're going to be awesome. We are going to release different ways of doing full color and things like that. So it's going to be an exciting year. Better metals. Everything's going to be better. Even our SLS material is going to be better.
So it's interesting. You guys are in a unique position. 10 years from now, 2023, what's going to be 3D printing? Like, what's that going to look like?
Well, it won't look like anything. And the reason I say that is because what you buy, whether it be online or in a store, you will not be able to tell whether it's 3D printed or not. Because when you buy a pair of headphones, you don't go, that's a nice injection molded headphones. You go, that's a nice pair of headphones. And the same thing will be with 3D printing. You'll buy an object for that object, not because it's 3D printed. Because in the end, nobody really cares about how something is manufacturing except a few geeks like us. The real value is when my mom buys something and then I go, hey mom, did you know that's 3D printed? And she goes, no, and I don't really care. And that's the real value. So that's what, it won't look like anything.
So this whole movement, there's lots of new people that are getting involved in 3D printing, CNC milling, laser cutting, all this stuff because digital fabrication is really changing the game.
Oh yeah.
What words of advice do you have to younger guys and girls coming up when they're just getting started?
Yeah, well, I mean, Shapeways and people like Shapeways are the people that are going to use these younger kids' brains. We rely on these young kids to get involved in engineering, getting involved in digital fabrication because they're going to be our future stars who we're leaning on for new materials and new processes. So really learning the basics about engineering, learning the basics about electronics, just getting your hands dirty is the best thing that I can. When we hire people, we don't even like it if you're into 3D printing because that means that you have a preconceived notion of what that means. We want you just to be into everything. We want you to be into space and minerals and whatever because that's where the creativity comes. That's where we're going to be designing the next materials, the next processes, the next machines are going to come out of that creativity.
Cool. You heard it here first from Shapeways. Get your hands dirty.
Get your hands dirty.
All right, thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. No
All right.
problem.